legends of Christmas. And here are two people on my naughty list, Neil and Chris. Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas and welcome to this special mini-series of Urbane Legends, the 12 Legends of Christmas. That is, so I'm Chris Flynn, and with me as always is Mr.
Neil Herbert.
And we are actually at the moment snowed in to the bunker which Neil has in his back garden. We both were a little bit worried about Putin's antics, so we decided to go into the bunker, but we've actually ended up snowed in with not much food and no connection to our families. So that's nice, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll warm up soon, and we'll sort of get out. We'll get rescued.
I hope so. We're running out of everything, really, aren't we?
Oh yeah, and that toilet's getting a bit
moody. So what would you ordinarily be doing on Christmas Day, Neil? Sort of like, what would you be eating? Where would you be?
I'm mainly going out and sort of scaring people in the neighbourhood. A lot of the tales that we're going to be sort of going through today. So it's
nice.
That or giving a shiny sixpence to one of the local ones to go and get me the biggest goose in the window.
Lovely.
Oh, no, that's Dickens' tale I saw once, I think.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you get up to over Christmas?
Well, as you know, Neil, I don't like to talk about it, but I do quite a lot of charitable work.
Oh, okay. You don't like to talk about it.
I don't like to
more than once every hour, do you?
Once an hour. So probably around this time, I would be dropping off a few crates of lager to the school for thirsty kids.
Yeah, I do get ever so thirsty, don't they?
They get very thirsty, them kids. So I like to drop them off. A few crates of lager just to get them through the period between Christmas and New Year, which is pretty much what we're doing here for our listeners, because although today is Christmas Day,
they're thirsty for urban legends, I would imagine.
I'd imagine on Christmas Day, there's nothing more Christmassy than some urban legends. But also, obviously, people get bored between Christmas and New Year, so we're doing the traditional 12 days of Christmas, and we're going to do a different legend each one of them days.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll be as drunk as we would normally be over Christmas, so,
Yeah, unfortunately we're having to make prison-style toilet wine at the moment in the bunker.
We're brewing some Pruno as quickly as we can, so we're going to try and get a lot of it. We'll see how it works.
So, Neil, we need to talk about Krampus.
Oh.
So I would say he's probably the most famous sort of anti-Santa character, would you say so?
Yeah, again, it's the old litmus test of how I heard of this urban legend, and I have. I've even watched. There was a movie. I think it might have had. It wasn't Paul Rudd. It was the fella in Parks and Rec. He was the partner. I think it's like. I can't remember his name. He married Leslie Knope.
Oh,
Adam something.
Oh right, yeah.
You know who I mean, right?
I don't know who he is in real life.
But he's quite funny. But I think he was starring in it. I can't remember. I think Toni Collette might have been in it, and I don't know. Anyway, there's a Krampus
big cast.
Actually, it was quite a major movie. It's not bad actually.
What happens? Is it like a comedy horror?
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of as usual with these things. It's sort of like it's kind of quite good, and then I think. Because I think the conceit is that the mother-in-law is like she's from the old country.
All right, which one?
Whatever,
exactly.
Like Toni Collette's mum or whatever. And then she teaches them all about Krampus and stuff. And then because the kids, and then they have the in-laws round, and everyone isn't grateful. All Krampus arrives to
Mom,
take care of business.
I wanted a Power Ranger.
And then I think they're just all about to get killed when, I don't know, like the littlest kid believes in the spirit of Christmas or some shit, so they'll fuck off. I don't know, something like that. Oh, it's not about the ending though, is it? It's the time.
It's a journey. Life's about the journey.
I can't really recall that much about it. It was entertaining enough, I seem to remember. Good cast, as you know.
Okay, cool. So
check it out. 7 out of 10.
Oh, it's a good Christmas movie, like Die Hard.
Yeah,
cool guy.
It's the other one people will say it's a Christmas movie.
Elf.
No, you know, like in a wanky way, it's like, Die Hard's a Christmas movie because, technically.
Yeah, I've got no interest in getting involved in that debate.
Well, here's a really interesting fact for you then, Chris.
Oh, that's good. I'm really enjoying our time in the bunker.
It's a Wonderful Life, yeah?
Yeah.
Franz Kafka. Absolutely no evidence it takes part over Christmas. It's just in the winter.
Oh, okay.
Because they used to play it as a Christmas movie all the time on CBS. That's become considered a Christmas movie.
Like Trains, Planes and Automobiles. Although that's a Thanksgiving movie, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That definitely isn't a Christmas movie.
So I'm going to be reading from an article from the website Mental Floss.
Oh, I've heard that's a quality source of info.
Oh, it's top notch. And the article is 9 Facts About Krampus, St. Nick's Demonic Companion.
Oh, you've picked a listicle, Chris. That's an interesting technique.
Yeah, I thought I'd do a listicle because
the listeners may be familiar with Krampus.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to tell me about Krampus? I don't already know. They'll be thinking.
Yeah,
know this story. I learned
all this in church.
Yeah.
And it's by Jess Zimmerman from, it was updated in 2020. So,
where's the likelihood of them going to the first Google search for Krampus?
Well, no, there was loads. I was having a look, and there was like Wikipedia and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know, it's a bit dry.
Wiki's too dry for these things. Oh, yeah. Would you like to know about the proto-European roots of it? I mean, they mostly come from Germany, don't they? Where they've got quite like a bit of the corporal punishment.
Germany and Austria
from beatings to
where they've got mountains and they're nowhere near the sea. That tends to be where moody shit happens.
Yeah.
Right.
What happens in Stuttgart stays in Stuttgart. Anyway.
Happens in München stays in München. Yeah. Okay, so we'll go through each one of the 12. Is it 12?
There are 12 days of Christmas. Oh, no, this is the 9. This is our first of the 12 days of Christmas, which contains 9 things about Krampus that we didn't know or might not know. Or
we probably knew them, but it's just a simple way of just putting information.
Did you know he's the evil version of Santa Claus?
It's a simple way of putting information across, Neil, in these short attention span times which we live.
Everyone's got ADHD these days.
Yeah, I know. I said I do. That and wheat intolerance. So
you haven't got fact intolerance, Chris.
No, I absolutely don't, which is why this
this
podcast is perfect.
Podcast you will.
So, St. Nick brings the gifts and Krampus brings the pain.
Oh.
Here are some things you might not have known about Santa's demonic companion.
So he'd make a good wrestling figure, wouldn't he, Krampus?
Would he?
I don't know. Why not? I mean, that's stupid conceit. I didn't grow up. See, when I was a kid, like the wrestling and stuff, it wasn't. We couldn't watch it because it was on Sky.
Yeah,
you had to, that were for posh kids. So,
like The Simpsons, you could watch that.
Yeah, couldn't watch that until it was in BBC like years later. The odd repeat, or whatever. But yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't know.
It could be. I mean,
my limited knowledge of wrestling.
They sometimes. I remember when France refused to join the coalition of the willing for the Iraq invasion, and then the rest they just instantly had two two French wrestlers who had never been in it before, who suddenly just turned up and then just got beaten up constantly.
Yeah, and they were really cowardly, but then could win some fights, but only when it was in the most cowardly fashion possible.
Yeah, trying to strangle someone with
a weirdly inattentive referee.
Trying to strangle someone with a necklace made of onions.
This is someone, Oh, that was the other thing I know about those wrestling matches. Yeah, the referees are very much like cats. They get distracted by any shiny thing at the appropriate times.
So,
anyway, sorry.
Almost as if it isn't real. So, number 1, Neil, you wouldn't have known this. Krampus is a Christmas demon. Who is Krampus? In Austria and across the German-speaking Alpine region, the demonic character is a crucial part of the holiday season. He's a devilish figure with long horns and a goatee beard, much like the typical portrayals of Satan. You might see him posed harmlessly on a greetings card or reproduced in a chocolate or figurines. But you might also encounter a procession of Krampuses stalking through the town laden with bells and chains, intimidating onlookers, or whipping them with bundles of sticks.
What?
That's nice, isn't it?
Bringing the pain.
He's bringing the pain.
Well, he's not whipping them with the chains, which is one thing, I suppose.
Yeah. So
I mean, sticks ain't nothing to be sniffed at either, but I think I'd rather be whipped with a stick than a chain.
Well, you pay to get whipped with sticks, don't you?
Well, yeah.
All the time. That's where most of your
money goes. No, it's a traditional massage, Chris. It's
a traditional Swedish massage. Yeah. It's a traditional Swedish leather mask.
Turkish pain masseurs.
So, number 2. December the 5th belongs to Krampus. If you survive, you might get presents. So, December the 5th is Krampusnacht, when Krampus reigns. In the real world, people might attend Krampus balls, or young men from local Krampusgruppen might don carved wooden masks, cowbells, chains, and elaborate costumes to run through the town in a Krampuslauf, which is Krampus run.
Oh, is this might, or does this still happen, do you think?
I think it still happens.
I'm sure that, yeah. I suppose the other thing that's in my head is kind of like, is it out in the more rural parts of Germany? I can't see, like...
I think it's just all around the Alpine region.
Berlin running around with Krampus masks.
Oh, that's miles away from the Alps.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Because you kind of think, like, Lewis on Bonfire Night, do you know what I mean? That hardcore, kind of like traditional...
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. Like, they have groups, like, where they spend the year planning their...
Krampus gangs.
So they frighten and sometimes...
You've hardly tried this yet, Todd.
We will beat the bystanders in our Krampus run. According to legends, Neil.
This week's round of apologies goes to Germany.
According to legend, Krampus will spend the night visiting each house. He might leave bundles of sticks for bad children, or he might just hit them with the sticks instead.
I mean, yeah, get active.
He might toss them, I assume he means the children, into a sack or basket on his back and then throw them in a stream. Or he might straight up take them to hell.
Oh, Jesus, that escalated quickly.
I'm going to leave some sticks, or the other thing is I might take you to hell.
I mean, do you think it's proportionate to the crime? Because what's that kid been up to?
Naughty kids.
It's very fucking naughty. He's dragged straight to hell. How much mischief can you get up to, like 8 years old or whatever?
I know. Stolen apple.
You've done. And he's gone, how was it? Yeah.
I was just
more than
hungry.
scramping apples, wasn't it, Timmy?
Trespass.
You're going to find some things in the basement. You're not going to like it.
You're cycling on the pavement. So
authoritarian Krampus.
So
we can't do the time, don't do the crime, Timmy. Haircut.
I knew what I was getting into. High risk, high rewards. So the next day, though, is Nicholasdag, St. Nicholas's Day. The same St. Nicholas whose Dutch name, Sinterklaas, evolved into Santa Claus. In other words, it's time for presents for all the little girls and boys. That's the one who haven't already been dragged into hell. Yeah, that's the ones who haven't already been beaten, damned, or drowned.
I mean, this sounds suspiciously like they're having a clear out of the village kids. Oh, terribly naughty.
Terribly naughty. Your spelling's dreadful.
Yeah.
You're left-handed. Straight to the stream.
You're never going to pass the civil service exam, are you? Give up with you into the stream with you.
So, number 3.
We've tried the stick method. I ain't helping.
Yeah. You still can't do the algebra.
Eating more than ever. Never going to pay you away.
So, 3. Krampus may be a monster, but he pals around with Santa.
Yeah, because, I mean, this is the thing with all of this. Like, we've all
got friends like that, though, haven't we?
Fucking, look, you want to know what someone's like, look at some of their friends, do you know what I mean? I feel we've got some fucking moody companions, as we're going to find out over the next 12 days.
So, originally, Krampus was purely a pagan creation, said to be the son of Hil from Norse mythology. but he got grafted onto Christian traditions as a sidekick of St. Nicholas, similar to figures like Zwarte Piet in the Netherlands, Knecht Rupert in Germany. Since the 17th century, the two have been...
will probably be covering.
Yes, but since the 17th century, the two have been linked in a sort of Christmas yin-yang, with Krampus as St. Nick's dark companion.
Good cop, bad cop. Apparently, that's what Santa needs.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He needs he needs a loose cannon.
Yeah, Santa's very much the Danny Glover to Krampus is Mel Gibson in so many ways. Because Krampus would definitely drag him straight down to hell. He's been a very naughty boy. So,
costume figures of the two traditionally visit houses and businesses together on Krampusnacht. So, 4. Krampus revelers will hit, push, and whip spectators at the parades. The Krampus legend whips people with his birch bundle, but he isn't a literal demon. I can't emphasise that enough. Surely the costumed human Krampus parties wouldn't engage in such violence, right? Wrong. Here's a description of the Salzburg Krampuslauf, from a tourist who expected more costume buffoonery and came home with welts.
Yeah. It turns out this is an S&M party. Krampus plays for real.
Yeah. So, the narrow streets in the old city section of Salzburg were packed with pedestrians as the Krampuses stomped through. Many people were caught unawares and reacted with terror. Some would flee and try to seek refuge in a shop or restaurant, only to be pursued by a determined Krampus. With so many easy targets, we again managed to escape largely unharmed. At times we were chased, jostled and struck, but compared with the brutality we witnessed, it was obvious we had been spared the full brunt of what a Krampus could muster.
Has Krampus got a semi? I'm not sure that's accurate. It sounds like Krampus was enjoying it. Krampus was doing it a little bit too much. Yeah, well, this is the thing.
They've all been banned from Salzburg FC football grounds.
This is what happens when, it's ultras or whatever. Yeah, because some people get far too much into the spirit of this sort of thing.
Yeah. That's one thing which we could never be accused of.
No,
getting into the spirit of anything. This writer went to Krampuslaufs in 3 cities and described savage beatings to people's thighs and shins, as well as Krampus chasing down and setting on a teenager.
Jesus.
But despite the fear and bruises, it's all in good fun. And hey, at least they aim for the legs, the one part of the body that's never used.
Yeah.
It's like the pancreas.
Very, very few people end up with lifetime wheelchair-type injuries. Wheelchair-type injuries, I don't.
Wheelchair-type injuries, yeah. Nice. Yeah.
End up in wheelchairs, but anyway.
So, number 5. Krampus' appearance varies, but he often has one human foot and one cloven hoof. Nightmare getting shoes.
Oh, no.
The Krampus costumes at Krampuslaufs are aesthetically varied. They may be reminiscent of devils, bats, goats, abominable snowmen, or something out of a Guillermo del Toro movie. There are usually some kind of horns and hides involved, but there's also a lot of free rein, Neil. Hey, let your imagination go wild. It's Christmas, guy.
I'd beat that fellow out of Pan's Labyrinth if we're doing Guillermo del Toro.
What, with the eyes in his hands?
In his hands, yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it? Not really.
It's all right.
Well, not bothered.
Yeah, got no imagination.
Well, I don't have to have imagination if you're looking at something. What an imagination is. Krampus has also been a fixture on Austrian holiday greetings cards since the 1800s, where he's shown pursuing women or menacing children. Sounds like a BBC presenter from the 70s.
Yeah, little did we know. Well, that's the thing is, our Krampuses were hiding in plain sight. I'm sure it's just some German going again. Yeah, fine, but this Jimmy Savile character, who I remind you gave a knighthood.
On the cards, Krampus traditionally has a long tongue that sometimes lolls halfway down his chest and sports one human foot and one cloven one. No one is entirely sure why.
Imagine he's probably big into Kiss.
You reckon that's what it is?
Thing, yeah, he's like...
Do you reckon it's Gene Simmons?
Yeah, Gene Simmons probably.
Just Gene Simmons visits Germany.
Well, because the thing is, the rest of the year round, what you're doing...
He's got one cloven hoof as well, hasn't he?
He has got... You've noticed, yeah, he's definitely got a hoof going on.
He uses it to stamp on his guitar pedals.
Yes.
He had to have them specially custom built.
Spend the rest of the time going around as a rock band. Perfect.
Yeah. Not a bad life, is it? Yeah, beat some people with sticks and then be Krampus.
Incredibly, the most commercial thing this side of Christmas.
So, number 6, some Austrian households had a year-round decor meant to warn kids of Krampus. A 1958 article about the Krampus legend in Styria, a state in southeast Austria, reports that Krampus would deliver gold-painted bundles of birch sticks to children. These were essentially small versions of the bundle of twigs he would use to beat people. The families would hang the birch twigs on the wall for the rest of the year as a decoration and to remind the kids to stay in line.
Hey, if it works.
The article rather primly notes that the twigs are hung particularly in those houses where the behaviour of the children merits the application of corporal corrections.
Spare the Krampus stick, spoil the child. That's what they always used to say.
Yeah.
And it's slightly more, whatever that is in German.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to try and make that either.
So 7, Krampus was once banned by fascists. Well,
okay, this is going to be interesting.
So between 1934 and 1938, when Austria was under fascist rule, Krampus was seen as a symbol of variously sin, anti-Christian ideals, and social democrats.
A lefty cut Krampus.
Lefty cut, beating people with sticks. The newspaper of the Austrian Catholic Union called for a Krampus boycott, and the government of Linz, the capital of East Tyrol, forbade Krampus dances and further mandated that all aspiring St. Nicholases must be licensed by the city. Hey, you got your Santa license?
So St. Nick was okay then, he was,
If you had your license.
Yeah. See, again, he's pulling around with Hitler now. Dodgy fuck. I mean, if anything for me, this tells me that Krampus is probably, all right, he's a bit of a wild character. Maybe he takes it a bit far, but he is what he is.
They also pledged to arrest Krampus whenever they saw him. Although it didn't rise to the level of a ban, in 1953, the head of Vienna's kindergarten system also published a pamphlet calling Krampus an evil man and warning parents that celebrating him could scar the children for life.
Oh boy, you're about to have your eyes opened a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that probably the Second World War and living under fascism probably scarred the children quite heavily already. Krampus probably the least of your worries.
They may not have had their priorities quite correct. Anyway.
So, number 8, Krampus masks are valuable pieces of folk art. Get on eBay. Sure, you could probably pick up some plastic horns at a Tyrolean Target. Target's a shop in America, I believe.
Yes, it is, yeah.
But that's not really in the right spirit, Neil.
They've got to be made out of skulls.
Pigeon skulls.
I think you work your way up from there, yeah.
Traditionally...
Depends on how secret the Krampus society is that you get into.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Traditionally, the masks worn in a Krampus procession are made of wood and are hand-carved by specialist artisans.
Mm.
For instance, Ludwig Schnegg makes masks for all 80 members of the Heiming Krampus group, and he's been making them since 1981.
Oh, fair play.
Antique masks often wind up in museums, either folklore museums or ones explicitly devoted to Krampus.
So is he making the new 80 masks every year?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. You would think
it
that
feels
your
like
mask,
a lot.
I mean, like, you might lose it or it might get smashed
when you're
beating a teenager in the back of a restaurant.
Well, once it really kicks off. Krampus next. Yeah.
And you would imagine that people retire and new people join and that kind of thing.
It's like clowns; they're not allowed to wear the Krampus face.
That's it. Yeah. Mr. Krampus.
And that retires with the person.
The towns of Kitzbühel and Sallenhofen both feature Krampus museums that collect old costumes and masks. Would you like to go there, Neil?
It sounds like one of the more boring museums I've been to in Germany.
Have you been to Austria?
I have. Yeah, I've been to Austria. I went for a conference. I didn't really see loads.
Went for a conference?
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly in just sort of like the hotel. But no, I've not. Yeah, I've not been to. We went out and did one sort of sightseeing day. They just sort of walked us around the town. But I've not really. I've not sort of been to Austria really.
You weren't listening to parlour music in Vienna?
No.
That sounds awful. I would hate that. They really like parlour music, don't they? They're kind of in like a grand room and there's only like 20 people and you have people playing cello and violin and stuff.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Something to see, I guess.
Yeah.
Better than the Teddy Bear Museum in Munich, anyway.
That's it. I wonder how many of those teddy bears are haunted.
That's a good point, actually. I should have gone in, shouldn't I?
Or do they only get haunted when they go to North America?
Or elsewhere, yeah. Especially if they're life-size. or look like human beings.
Robert the Doll.
Robert the Doll episode, everyone. Yeah.
So number 9, you can celebrate Krampus even if you're in the US. You can do what you want.
Celebrate Krampus wherever you're from. That's what I'll say. I'll say this podcast right now.
It's called freedom.
I wouldn't wait until 5th of December either if you want to.
Celebrate
Christmas Day. You want to
3rd of August.
You've got to find some twigs. You want to just go and beat someone around the legs with them.
Yeah, your kids are acting up. So Krampus has become increasingly popular on this side of the pond. He's shown up on Venture Brothers, Grimm, Supernatural, The Colbert Report, and American Dads. And there's a Krampus-inspired horror movie, which you were talking about.
That was the one, yeah, I think.
And in an increasing number of American cities, you can go to a Krampus party, Krampus costume contest, or even a traditional Krampuslauf.
Well, I would have thought that it'd been, because there's quite a few Germans in America, haven't there? Sort of been over there for many a year.
Thought them in Pennsylvania.
I thought they took traditions across with them. Yeah. Possibly.
Yeah. But, I guess so. I guess you kind of pick and choose which traditions you continue. Because you would imagine in quite a puritanical country, coming across and dressing like the devil might not go down particularly well.
Down an absolute storm, yeah.
Apparently, Los Angeles has a burgeoning Krampus scene.
Hipster Krampus scene, all right.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, for some, the holidays are scary enough without throwing a demon beast with a penchant for physical assault into the mix. But if you're the kind of person who goes to extra scary haunted houses at Halloween, take heart. The terror doesn't have to stop just because we've entered the season of togetherness and joy. Well, there you go. That's Krampus, Neil. Have you learned some shit?
I didn't realise it was quite so much physical assault involved, I must confess.
I think from the brief look
it sounds a little bit over the top
some
on
of
that
these
front.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much all of the Christmas things we'll look at involve physical assault, but I don't think that people have carried on doing them to this day.
Yeah. No, that was probably like a while back. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine people who sort of get a bit too drunk over the Christmas period, maybe take things a little too far, but I should imagine it's more sort of symbolic these days.
And speaking of which, that prison-style toilet wine's starting to look quite good for me, Neil. So
it's foaming at the top. So that's
foaming at the top.
And that smell.
Oh, beautiful. Acrid. Burns the eyes. So
that's some real ammonia.
With that, I will wish all of you Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good Christmas day, or if you listen to it afterwards, you had a good Christmas day. And we will be back tomorrow with another one of our special series of shorts, the 12 Legends of Christmas.
Yeah, and if you don't celebrate Christmas, or you have a good whatever time off,
yes,
whatever you do in your part of the world, you're enjoying your time, and have a good one.
Cool. All right. See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Ho, ho, ho. See you tomorrow. Remember, don't drink and drive. Ho, 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 ho.